89.3 and 88.5 Yes FM. Also broadcasting on the internet at yeshome.com and on your smartphone through TuneIn Radio and Wonder Radio.
We are joined by Bob Hartman from Petra, now Classic Petra. Bob, welcome to the program.
Thank you.
It's good to have you joining with us, and you got the band back together.
Yeah. It's a band from the early 80s, and we put together an album of, we redid a lot of the early material and started playing out, and we've done a few tours even around the world now, and it's been a really interesting thing to get back together after 25 years.
Well, and really celebrating, and this is amazing to me, 40 years since you guys founded in 1972.
That's right, yep.
Does it seem like 40 years? Are you looking back on, man, I can't be that old?
Yeah, exactly. I don't feel like it's been 40 years, but when you add them up, that's what you get.
And you guys have, I mean, you're kind of in a unique position in the world of Christian music, because you guys really were there from the very beginning, from the whole, the Jesus movement and Larry Norman and back with those guys now to still making music today. And could you ever have imagined back in 72, 74, 76, Christian music growing to the size that it has today?
No, not at all. In fact, I remember it was actually in the later 70s, somebody very high up in Christian music telling me that Christian rock music would never be popular, and that we would need to realize that and just live with that fact. And of course, we had some great success after that statement, but I think that the people found the music, and the church has changed so much. I mean, I've seen so many changes in the church.
Because you guys really were on the cutting edge of, and I know your mission, you guys being very explicit from the very beginning that this was a vehicle for preaching the gospel and reaching people for Christ. It was a ministry for you. And so you really were on the cutting edge of taking the gospel into the culture.
Well, yeah, it was. I mean, we were all Bible students, and when we started, and that was our mission. And I look back on it now, and you can see God's plan sometimes a lot better from looking in the rearview mirror.
And as you have, I remember one time, and this was years and years and years ago, but I heard an interview with you saying that you intentionally kind of wrote your lyrics when you wrote songs so that any 16-year-old could understand them.
Well, yeah, I guess I don't remember saying that, but
it was many years ago, so we'll forgive you.
There's a lot of 16-year-olds that are now, a lot older than that.
But I mean, just that idea that we want to make the gospel clear, presentable. A 16-year-old hearing this song can know what we're trying to say about God. We're not trying to give them.
We've never tried to make our music difficult. And really, a lot of my lyrics have been based on the Bible, and a lot of that came from my experience in Bible school.
Now, where'd you guys go to? Did you guys go to Bible school together? Is that where you originally, back in '72, met up? Yes,
there was a 2-year school out of a church there in Fort Wayne, and we all ended up there and began right there in the church basement.
And now back together again, Classic Petra. And this is probably the lineup, I think, for a lot of us. This is when we cut our teeth. I remember my first experience, my first encounter with Christian rock music was, you guys were in Sylvania, Ohio. I'm sure you remember the show vividly. But you were in Sylvania, Ohio. It was the More Power to You tour. And you guys came in, and none of us had, I mean, our idea of contemporary Christian music was the Imperials. That was rocking it out. And so we went to this concert, and all we knew about Petra was we had heard that you guys had sold out some shows down south, and we thought, well, if they're selling out shows, they must be pretty good. And that was all we had to go on. And we went, and I remember we had a new youth pastor that year. He was not real sure about this whole thing. And we went to the show. You guys were fabulous. And but I remember he went and talked to you. I think it was you or Greg afterward and saying, you know what, I've been told that this is the devil's music and wrong. He goes, but that's not what I'm seeing here today. And you had a long conversation with him and kind of turned him around on it. And it was and neat that I just remember about that show, you guys stayed around. It was boiling hot, and you guys stayed around for like an hour and a half afterward, talking to, I think, every kid that was there.
Yeah, that was a great time for Petra. During that explosion in the early 80s, we just saw such a great rise in the number of people and the interest, and we did talk to a lot of people who changed their minds after they saw us. And to their credit, you know, sometimes when you hear a concept, you might think, oh, that'll never work. But then, you know, if you have an open mind and you see it, that reminds me of another instance where we weren't able to change some minds, where some people were picketing our concert when we arrived, and they were somebody went out to them and invited them to come backstage after the concert to see all the kids that were in the room being counseled, and they still wouldn't believe that God was using the music after they saw that. So it's that contrast shows, you know, the variety of views at the time and how difficult it actually was to break through that and do what we felt God was calling us to do.
Well, you did all right, because 40 years later, here you are still banging away, and classic Petra now getting together. Of course, Bob, Mark Kelly, John Lowry, Greg X. Volz, and Louis Weaver. Kind of for me, that's the classic Petra lineup. That's what I grew up with, and where I was first introduced with you guys is that lineup. And going to be playing in our area at Hamilton High School coming up Sunday, September 30th, 7 o'clock. And what will folks expect now that classic Petra's coming together? Are they going to hear the old songs? Will they be updated? Have you freshened them up? What are they going to hear when they come to the show?
Yeah, they will hear the old songs updated. We're going to represent the album we did quite well, I think, and we pulling out some other songs from that era, and I think people will have a really good time and enjoy it. We've had a lot of younger folks tell us how much they like the music, even though, you know, it's that old. So we have families, a lot of families come now, you know, and parents drag their kids along, you know, and say, you got to hear what I listen to.
This is what we grew up on.
I have to listen to what you play all the time. Now you come to this concert.
Now, how much do you personally keep up on what's new out in Christian music?
Well, I know there's a whole lot that I don't know about, but, you know, we've gotten out to several festivals and things like that where we've seen other artists and heard a lot of different music.
How cool is that for you to go to these festivals and see these young bands coming up, knowing they're kind of building on the foundation that you helped along with others to lay?
You know, it's really great because so often when we meet them, they say, oh, you know, you guys really had an influence on us, and, you know, and they say very, very nice things, and that's really rewarding to us to know.
We're talking with Bob Hartman from Petra, classic Petra. They're going to be in concert Sunday, September 30th, 7 o'clock at Hamilton High School, and if you want information there, you can email hamiltonlifecenter@yahoo.com. And if folks want to find out more about classic Petra and the work you guys are doing, how can they do so?
Well, you can look up classicpetra.com, our website, and we have, you know, Facebook and all that sort of thing, and people can follow along what we're doing.
Excellent. Hey, Bob, we really appreciate you joining us this morning. It was good to talk to you.
Well, good to talk to you. Thank you.
God bless, brother.
You too. Bye-bye.
Yes, FM.